Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Detroit. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Kenji Numatanami Egashira.
Oh, that's me.
And we're ready for round 6 coverage here where we have 2 undefeated teams. We're going to start things off. Christian Kalcano versus Jesse Molton. You can see on the left-hand side their opponents here. Samuel, he goes by Sammy Tharratum, and Vince Dagustinino. He's going to be playing against Joe Deestrio on the other side. Sammy's going to be playing against Ben Friedman, and then, of course, we're starting here. So off we go.
Looks like Jesse's got a turn 2 shambling goal. That's one of my favorite 2-drop in this format.
I love it, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially
I mean,
if
you do miss it not being able to block, right? You know, if they have a Token Free Blade or something like that, you're like, oh, just block one time. But then any time after that, that extra point of toughness really adds up nicely.
Speaking of toughness, it's a Hitch Claw Recluse.
Yeah. So 4 toughness for Kalcano. And even though he's red-green, it looks like the shields, they are up, at least currently. Let's see what Jesse has in play. Wow, very aggressive play here for Jesse. He's just going to suppression bonds the Recluse to make way for 2 points of damage. So not bad, but you got to figure that almost any follow-up here.
Which happens to be a Planeswalker.
A Planeswalker in the form of Nissa Vastwood Seer. He's also going to get a Forest and immediately play it. This is the second time I've seen a Planeswalker in since I've been in the booth. We saw Liliana earlier today as well.
Sure. First for me.
All right.
Yeah.
So welcome, Nissa, to the booth.
I think Jesse's probably pretty happy that's not the Chandra instead. Because if it had been Chandra and he had used the suppression bonds on the Recluse, he'd be feeling maybe a little bit silly.
He would be.
I have to imagine that Jesse probably has some flyers in his hand if he's willing to use the suppression bonds like that.
Yeah, just to clear away 2 damage. That is a very aggressive play. Also because, you know, he didn't develop his board that turn either, right? So the Recluse was not going to be able to hit him for damage. So he's got to have some backup plan. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see, like, Charging Griffin here. That's kind
exactly
of the biggest one that still gets blocked by the Recluse.
Oh, even better.
It is, but I'm still looking at why is this Recluse bonded up? Maybe he just didn't have anything else to do for that turn.
That could very well be the thing.
Don't know if that makes it correct necessarily.
Yeah, you got to figure Christian has something else to do on turn 3 or 4 because, you know, he had played the Recluse on turn 3. So, well, he's going to have 3 or 4 mana, excuse me.
Right.
Instead, so he's probably going to have something that's bigger than a 2/3. Speaking of
bigger than a 2/3, here's Rock's Maulers. Now, did he attack with the Nissa Vastwood Seer there, Kenji?
He did.
He just jammed it right in there.
And, you know, with Jesse tapped out, he's not going to throw away his 4/4 flyer.
Not for
or
a...
at least offer it.
Yeah, not for a Titanic Growth, which Calc even have it? I don't know.
You'd think it'd be Titanic Growth instead of...
Might.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Titan Strength also doesn't get the job done there in the way that Calculator really wants.
Now he's at 6 lands.
We've hit 6 lands already, so he is now 1 land away from getting Nissa Vastwood Seer turned into a Planeswalker, which is going to be kind of interesting to see how that goes, because with the flyer there, the Patron of the Valiant, that's going to be able to pressure Nissa, meaning it's only going to get an activation or 2 off of it depending on which direction he decides to go. In the meantime, though, this is a really nice little spot for Kalcano because he gets to attack with Rock Maulers and might even get it ferocious here. Now, this can go wrong many ways, and I think if you're in Kalcano's seat, you actually expect it to. That wasn't the way that I think you would expect it to necessarily. This is Hixus Prison Warden.
Whoa!
I was thinking more along the lines, and he didn't block, so it's going to get gobbled up here by Hixus. Oh, look, a replacement Rock Maulers.
But still.
But I was thinking, you know, he could have had Celestial Flare. That's kind of the obvious one. But Mighty Leap also gets the job done. It turns the Ghoul into a 4/5 and can eat up the Rhino.
Sure.
Hixus also, as it turns out, gets the job done cleanly here, too.
Yeah, Jesse does have to take the hit from the Rock Mauler to get the Hixus trigger. But,
He could have traded.
You're absolutely right. He could have. I don't think that's something you want to do when you're at 18 life.
Yeah, I think this is much better.
Going back to the Nissa thing, it's funny how Nissa's actually weaker as a Planeswalker on this board than, you know, as a creature. I know a 2/2's
more fragile.
Yeah, I know a 2/2's not amazing, but once it flips.
I think the way Kalcano changes that is that he just minuses Nissa, and he makes a 4/4. So he basically upgrades her to a 4/4 and then soaks up 4 points of damage that he would have taken otherwise. And that's a nice upgrade. Oh.
I'm actually not sure.
What just happened there?
So, Cruel Revival.
I see Cruel Revival on the Rock Mauler.
Yeah, and then in response, Christian used Might of the Masses on the Nissa, which he didn't need to do. Right? He was getting an extra +1/+1, making it a 5/5 for the turn, but it would have eaten the Shambling Ghouls a 4/4 even.
I don't know why he did that. Yeah, the Might of the Masses would give +2/+2.
Well, I mean, the Hixes, I guess, right? That's the only reason, but... no, I guess that makes sense.
If you're going to keep back Hixes for the turn?
Yeah.
You like that?
No, I would have allowed Hixes to attack and gotten the trade off and gotten my Rock Smaller back.
Okay. Because you would basically trade it for Rock Smallers. And Hixes would be gone.
Sure. The thing is, Christian kind of gains 4 life here if he wants to kill the Nissa.
Yeah.
Although I think...
Although it's getting really close here. I mean, now we have Kalcano down to 6. He did play a Gaia's Revenge,
Sure.
and for the first time in the history of Magic, it didn't immediately attack.
No, we actually we saw Gabby last round.
Did she do
Yeah,
that?
I guess
of
you
course,
weren't
the
in the
time when I'm
booth.
not
Yeah,
in the booth. But
She was under
she
pressure.
played a defensive Gaia's Revenge
Exactly.
as well. Oh, okay. Today's the day.
I'm excited to see this patron go to the face instead of attacking Nissa. Point at him. Point at him. Yes.
It did. Nissa doesn't do a ton here. It's basically going to draw Kalcano an extra card, which is, a pretty big deal. But when you can kill him in 2 turns, I think you just try to slam the door here.
I think
Plus,
Yep. He's got to find an answer
he
immediately.
found a land that's going to go into play. He has to have something right now to take care of the patron. Now, can he? I mean, how much is he attacking for here as well, though? 8, 12, and just the Ghoul and the Hixus are back.
Yeah, on the board is not enough. And Gaia's Revenge, even though it looks like it might have trample, doesn't.
Yeah, it does look like it has trample.
Card is very large. Nice thing, if Jesse has any in his deck, Celestial Flare actually gets around the Gaia's Revenge because, the Revenge can't be targeted except by green spells or abilities. Which also makes the card fairly awkward when you have cards like Rogue's Passage. I don't know if you have ever had that interaction before.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so you can't actually Rogue's Passage your Gaia's Revenge.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Nice target for it, too. All right, so it looks like Jesse Molton's going to take game 1. He beats a Gaia's Revenge, a Nissa turned into a Planeswalker, and 2 Rock Smallers, and really never got slowed down at all there.
All he needed to do was get a few beats in with that Shambling Ghoul, and then a 4/4 flyer knocked it up.
Wow. That is a not what I would predict. Ooh, look at Kalcano's deck box. Do you see that? Do you know what that is?
I don't know. Is it some Illuminati type thing?
No, man.
What is it?
It's neutral ground.
Oh, okay. You got me.
It's BDM's old shop.
Whoa, look at this board.
Hello. What is going on here? So we're looking at Ben Friedman. He's the one with the colorful shirt there. This is Sammy Tharratum on the left. And we have a fairly cluttered board here at this point.
Yeah, again, we see the double Rock Smallers, except this time it's on Sammy's side.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a Mana Gorger Hydra up top, too.
Oh, you're right. It's already a 3/3. Make it a 4/4. Take out your Topin Freeblade with my Reeve Soul.
Sack and response, get +2/+2 on the Husk.
Interesting thing I'm seeing here too, Kenji.
What's that?
So with the 2 Rock Smallers on the battlefield, that's 6 mana that Sammy has. Look at Ben's.
Yeah.
He has done a lot of work with 3 mana here. He's done Reeve Soul, Freeblade, and every creature you see on the battlefield being stuck on 3. This, helps show the importance of a solid mana curve in Limited and cards that affect the board right when they hit. All of the cards that he's played are keeping him alive now, right? If he had played a couple of cards that were, whatever, some, Shadows of the Past or something like that, he might have fallen way behind. Jeez, Reeve Soul's everywhere. This is the 3rd Reeve Soul of the game. So I think the Husk ate both of the creatures, preventing the Rock Smallers from attacking.
Correct. Ben's dealt a considerable amount of damage to Sammy. I mean, he's already at 6 life.
Yeah, he must have had a great start with the all spells, 3 lands draw.
The thing is, I think, Sammy's rounded the corner now, and all of his creatures are just outclassing all of Ben's.
4/4 trample, 4/4 trample, 5/5 trample, 1/4 reach. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's going to be
versus
very difficult to get through. But versus a bunch of smaller creatures, right?
2/2s, 2/3s.
Yeah.
One little trick I like to do with the Shaman and the Husk, for Ben, if this doesn't come up often, but on Sammy's draw step, he can sacrifice the Shaman to the Husk, make him discard the last card.
That's good.
Yeah, just little things.
Any sorcery speed spell just gets
exactly
wrecked there. Now, you know, going a little deep here, but Sammy also is going to keep that in mind, right? And he's going to, you know, keep any additional lands that he doesn't need just in case.
Sure.
Little sub games always happening in Limited. It's one of the reasons we love it.
How do you deal with 2 4/4 tramplers and a 6/6 growing trampler with 4 mana?
Nope.
No?
Uh-uh.
Too hard?
I mean, the thing is that even at this point, like let's say he went Swamp Languish, that is not good for him.
No, not at all.
Right? Like it does kill both Rock Maulers and the Recluse, but it wipes, let's see, it would leave him with just an Antuco Husk in this scenario, and it would be Husk versus probably a 7/7 or maybe an 8/8 Hydra by the time. Oh no. Oh, he's got the combo, Kenji. He's got Woodland Bellower Mana Gorger Hydra. Now, he drew well enough to already have it on the table,
Sure.
but that you can go get it. That's the best target, right?
Oh, it's got to be
Just
for sure.
the best target in
Yeah.
Magic Origins. Rare, mythic rare into regular rare. Now, what is he going to get instead? I think
he pulled an Elvish Visionary up to the front because he already has like the Recluse on the table as well. So
this is probably one of the few targets he has left. And, you know, this is another reason why Visionary's good. I think this card's very good in this format. And, you know, he gets to peel a card here for maybe something relevant late in the game.
yeah, looking at Ben's deck list here, he does have a Sentinel of the Eternal Watch somewhere. Granted, we know he's kind of pinched on mana. But if you can get that, that'll lock down one of the bigger creatures for sure.
And actually, effectively the other.
Yeah, the Maulers, yeah, for sure.
So he taps down the Hydra, and then the 4/6 keeps the Maulers back. Now, unfortunately, Big Daddy Bellower is still going to be able to attack, and so Ben is going to have to work his way around, you know, double blocking that with the Shaman plus a 2/2 or something like that. But yeah, this is not impossible. Now, what we saw last turn was that Ben did hit his land drop. He's at the 4 now. And he's going to have to go runner lands and have the Sentinel. And it may still be late.
Yeah.
Too late.
Just judging on the deck lists, I think Sammy definitely has the bigger top end for sure. I mean, we can see that on the board here. All of his creatures are just outclassing Ben's.
Yeah. At this point in the game, Ben had just missed too many land drops. But now this gets interesting. His hand, he's got Unholy Hunger, thank you. He's also got a War Oracle.
Okay.
And a Read the Bones.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's got one other card that I can't quite see. What do you like here? Do you Read the Bones to try to hit lands because he is missing his land drop this turn? Or do you just War Oracle and ship it back thinking, well, this might keep me alive longer?
So I think the other card in his hand looks to be the Cruel Revival.
Okay, so he's got 2 5-mana removal spells?
Yeah, and so I think he just wants to hit the land drops there. But he's in a position where he might just want to develop his board and hope he rips.
Yeah.
You know? But for the Unholy Hunger, it has to be a swamp, is the thing. And
for the Unholy Hunger, it does, but not for the Revival.
Sure. Yeah, I think he needs to go for a greedy play.
And the greedy play is to play War Oracles, line up some double blocks, gain a little life off it, and then rip.
And you know Sammy's on the top deck too. He's got that 1 card in hand, I think.
I think he's got 2.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, maybe even 3, yeah. He's got 3.
Oh, okay, I was completely wrong. Tricked again. Well, in that case, I might fire off Read the Bones. I think you still have some fine blocks, especially with the Husk. The problem is you get a little bit wrecked by any combat trick, pump spell, removal, you know.
I think that Ben has decided that that's going to wreck him anyway.
Okay.
And he's going to take the greedier line. And I like this. I think this is what he should do.
No, I like it a lot too. And the War Oracle is just a great card in general.
It's so good. I mean, in this case, it's probably just going to combine with some shrimp to double block something big and kind of pad Ben Friedman's life total to see if he can't get back in this game.
You know, there's always the chance that Sam doesn't attack at all. Maybe he's scared of too many double blocks, triple blocks, that type of thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah. Looking at Sam's deck, he does have 2 Unholy Hunger in his, so, you know, if Ben goes for a quad block, a triple block, something like that, he might be able to blow him out with an Unholy Hunger.
Ben has taken the damage, it looks like. It was 8 damage. It would put him down to 6. But he can take that. Is this a land? Oh, it was the Sentinel.
Yikes. Well, it seems like it would have paid off to play the Read the Bones. That's obviously, you know, in the past. We can't know that for sure. But
yeah, now if he plays Read the Bones, I mean, there's a little too much going on for me to be able to snap it off, but I would guess that he's dead.
Tharratum, I'm probably just going to bash him with a lot of creatures. The Rock Maulers each become lethal if Read the Bones gets cast here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe not. You know, the War Oracle does keep you alive in a pretty big way.
Sure.
Also, I don't think that Friedman has a choice. If he just says go here, that's not going to get the job done either.
Hits Enshrouding Mist in the swamp. Those
Well-
and it happens to be a swamp, right? That's the land that he's looking
Yeah,
for.
and Enshrouding Mist could keep War Oracle alive.
Yes.
He also could attack with it. No, I wouldn't untap then. All right, but he does get to keep it alive.
Yeah. If he opts to keep the Enshrouding Mist on top.
Wow, this is a tough game for Friedman. He has had, just since we've been on this match, he's had a lot of really tough decisions. All right, he kept it.
I think the problem for Ben, though, is that,
What's the problem?
well, 3 of Sammy's creatures have trample. So
Yeah.
even if he goes to block the Maulers with a Husk, anything else that blocks another Mauler is going to be, or if he sacrifices it, it's still going to trample through. It's looking close. Man, Sam has some huge top end in his deck. He also has a Gaia's Revenge, a Dwynen.
Oh, no. All right, well, this might just put the nail in the coffin. Unholy Hunger takes out War Oracle on end step. And Sammy Tharratum's going to put himself in a position to win probably this turn. This is a Dwynen's Elite.
It's
I thought about
unfortunately
playing it.
something you cannot Enshrouding Mist. Unholy Hunger, that is.
That's right.
It even gained him 2 life. He has double Reeve Soul and, Read the Bones in his graveyard.
For the Rubbins.
Or the Rubbins.
And this is a massively lethal attack here. He's sending in 15 trample and 6 knot. So 21 damage coming your, or actually 9,
No,
10.
18 trample.
18 trample, excuse me, and 6 knot. So,
Count the toughness.
I mean, this is a, he gets to add 1 toughness, and that's going to do it.
Yeah.
All right, so Sammy Tharratum picks up game 1
Ben
against Ben Friedman.
Ben read the board, not read the bones that turn. A plus. A plus. He read the board. He
I'm
looked
going
at
to
the board.
withhold my grade. So Kalcano and Jesse Molton, it looks like they're going to game 3. We got to watch game 1. But they're headed to a 3 as Kalcano equalizes. First grade was an F minus, by the way, and we're just going to go with that.
Oh, come on.
Our buddy Libel says, no, boo. Oh, you're just being outwardly booed.
I see a lot of C's and D's. Those are passing grades.
Double F.
Oh, yeah.
You know what the most insulting grade is, though?
What's that?
It's F plus.
F plus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so condescending.
All right. Well, looks like this game just finished up as well. I couldn't actually tell whose board position looked better. I think Vince won that game.
I like Joe's right now. He's got a top there.
Okay. Yeah. That's winning the board.
Well, the graphic got updated, and it was Vince Dagustinino that won. So we see each player on the left team has a victory
Sure,
already,
yeah.
and only Calculator's been able to pick up a win for his team here. You guys will remember Joe Deestrio down on the end on the right-hand side. He was making a run for gold a year and a half ago. Didn't quite get there. Decided to go to school for a while,
Yeah.
do some computer science stuff, and he's escaped here to battle with 2 of his good friends.
I mean, why wouldn't you, right?
I would.
It's lovely. Play some Team Sealed.
I mean, I have the best team in the room, obviously, you and JVL. But
Well. See, I don't know if we would say the same of you.
okay.
All right.
Noted.
We would.
Noted.
We
Noted.
would. No, we would. Actually, Vince is a streamer now that I see him. Yeah, Vince streams on Twitch.
Fellow streamer.
Yeah. All right, lots of games in the sideboard, but we do have Kalcano and Molton. Looks like they're going. At the top of the screen, you can see the Magic World Championships coming up, Marshall.
When are those?
When are those? Thursday, August 27th, 9 a.m. Friday, August 28th, 9 a.m. Sunday, August 30th, 11 a.m. I'm going to be tuning
excited?
in. I'm going to be tuning in.
I will be there doing coverage.
Oh, shoot. I'll be at PAX, actually. I lied. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be tuning in.
You have a phone?
All right.
Also, it's at PAX, you know.
Fair enough.
The World Championships, I mean. You could just stop by and
Oh,
say hi.
all right.
Kenji.
So Jesse has an insane start here.
Holy
moly.
smokes. Is that Kithian?
Yes.
I thought Anointer was a good one drop.
You think Kythian, how frequently does Kythian get to eat a Hitchclaw Recluse, by the way?
I've not seen that happen
Yeah.
yet.
So
Wow.
it got pumped up by the Anointer, and then Eyeblight Assassin finished it off because it was a 3-2, so Kythian didn't die. Hitchclaw had 3 damage already. Add an extra -1/-1.
Calculator's going to take a look at Gideon and see what's up with the other side of this Planeswalker here.
He's eating his protein next turn. Maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
You don't want to throw away the Anointer.
Yeah, I
guess.
think the Anointer's worth keeping around in this scenario as it's really enabling a lot. Yeah, this is probably the best Kythian start I've seen. Kythian and Anointer is really annoying.
Remember,
Making it a 3-powered indestructible.
exactly.
Ugh. How are you supposed to do that?
Oh.
Or beat that?
Play Nissa. Have a Planeswalker battle.
Okay.
Remember Christian has a Planeswalker. Granted, I think Kythian's probably a little bit better here in this situation.
In the early going, yeah. Now, we have seen, that Kalcano can just create some big beasts here, right? A 4/4 does a nice job.
He's still resolving his Llanowar Empath trigger, opting to, I don't know. Will he get a creature or not? That's the question. All right, so did he double bottom there, it looked like?
Quite tell.
'Cause I think he already has some lands in his hand. But should reveal the mountain. I think he's just showing the mountain to, let him know it's still
He's
there,
just
I guess.
left it revealed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both players know what it is.
Yeah, you do have to reveal to the Llanowar Empath. No blocks here because, well, there aren't any good blocks for Calculator here, so rumble into the red zone they do, and interestingly, Jesse hasn't played anything post-combat. Now that's a nice one for Kalcano.
Zendikar Incarnate. That
Yeah,
card's
it's
very large.
It's a 5/4 as it sits.
Yes.
Not getting any smaller.
And that's going to block all the 2-power creatures, even with Anointer, very, very well.
Uh-oh, I smell bonds. Yeah. Had to be.
In comes the Eyeblight for 3 now with the pump.
Yep, he doesn't want to send Kythian because now he's tapped his mana.
So Jesse's missing some lands.
Yeah, but he seems to be firing okay
Sure.
with the low curve. Uh-oh. Kalcano's not missing lands, but he's not playing anything either.
Does he have the Gaia's Revenge in
He
his
does,
hand?
he
Yeah,
does.
so he's 1 mana short of that currently.
But he's got 2 other cards. What could those be, lands?
I mean,
he's got 6 mana in all of his colors. Like, what can't he cast at this point?
that's a good
Besides
question.
Revenge,
Yeah. Oh,
Is it a Mage Ring
responder?
So he's going to go 7-drop into 7-drop after this turn?
if he survives long enough to, yes. A snap block on the Kythian.
And you know what he's doing?
Yeah.
We call this time walking for short. He's forcing Jesse to use up his mana here so that he has enough time to play his 7-drops. This is a great play from Christian. Which one do you start with, Kenji?
Mage Ring, because it can attack and kill a creature next turn, So it's doing
I like
double
it too.
duty.
Yeah.
Also, it has pseudo-vigilance if that's...
If that's a thing. Yeah, it is more fragile. Like, it can actually be this,
Yeah, sure.
for example.
And that's actually going to finish the match for them. That's
Wow,
game 3.
that put him down to 4. So would you, knowing that Kalcano's at 4 and is facing lethal, would you pick the Gaia's Revenge because it can't be removed?
Jesse was still representing Celestial Flare too.
But you're not attacking.
But it would kill your blocker in any case. So either
But
way,
then you wouldn't die.
well, you're in a bad position either way. I think you got to lead with the Mage Ring there, just because yeah, again, you can attack with it, get offensive and defensive. You know.
Kalcano agreed, but it didn't work out for him that time. So Jesse Molton's going to take his match against Christian Kalcano. Kalc won that middle game, but we saw Jesse win game 1 and 3 pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
He kind of wrecked him.
And Joe and Ben are both down in game 2, so if either of them lose, that's going to be the entire matchup. Watching Vince and Joe here. Looks like a mirror match of sorts. We didn't get to watch this the last time because it finished right when we were pulling through. I've seen a lot of blue-red decks this weekend.
I have too.
Yeah.
You know, blue-red seems to have the most opportunities for synergy. Hard to put together in regular sealed, hard to put together in draft even. But, I mean, I saw people playing gear per Aether Grid
Oh, yeah.
times 2
Oh, yeah.
with, like, infinite artifacts. And it's like, wait, that actually could be a thing here. Haven't been able to make that one work in draft. I kind of gave up on it, to be honest. All right,
So-
well, looks like Joe Demestrio's getting aggressive here. He's going to use Disperse to take out the, what is it, an Embermaw Hellion that he
Embermaw
removed?
Hellion, yeah.
And then Rumble.
Oh gosh, I hope Vince has the Chandra's Fury to go along with the Embermaw Hellion. If you've
What,
never
you
had
don't
a
like
chance,
Joe Demestrio? What's
no,
wrong
I'm
with
just saying, if you've never had a chance to play Embermaw Hellion, then you cast Chandra's Fury on your opponent. 5 them and 2 damage to all their creatures.
you?
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, it feels good.
I've seen it. I
Oh,
just
it
don't know
feels
why you're
good.
wishing that on poor Joe Demestrio.
You know what? Everybody deserves to be lava axed and pyroclasm sometimes. I think it's Joe's turn.
He earned it. All right. All right, and this is going to be Anchor to the Aether, putting the Boggart Brew back on top of the library.
Or Vince scrying to the bottom. You know, the Brute is so good on offense, but so bad on defense.
It's okay. It trades up a little, right?
Yeah,
Block a 4-drop.
not on this board, but that's a really good play for Vince.
You're right. Not on this board at all. But wow, that turn was great
Oh, yeah.
for Vince, wasn't it?
And you know what? Joe's been stuck on lands for a few turns now too, so
See
that
that?
was a really good line.
You like doing that?
Doing what?
Oh, you know, putting permanents back on top of your opponent's library when they're missing land drops.
I mean, I'd rather just destroy them, kill their
Mhm.
creatures, and no, it always feels good. I lied. All right, you
So
got me.
good.
Yeah, you got me.
Oh man, that's the best feeling.
Especially because, you know, whatever they played last turn was their best thing to do.
Yep.
And so if it wasn't even very good, you're just
Yep.
like, I'll get you again.
Anchor your hopes to the Aether. Now this is interesting though, because Joe has decided to play Towergeist this turn, and this could find him another land. No, he puts one in the graveyard, signaling that maybe he found 2 there.
Or maybe something better.
Yeah, better than a land. Yeah, there's
no,
a land.
obviously not. The thing is, the turn prior, again, he dispersed and he went aggro, and then Vince had a great stabilization line, so
Mm-hmm.
now he can afford to develop his board a little bit more and stop getting so aggressive. But Vince has another, you know, two for one creature. The Aspiring Aeronaut isn't in the hand, so if he
He's-
wants more defenders.
He's got a Void Mage too.
Yeah. Oh, and a Void Mage. It's pretty good versus tokens.
He does have to pick which one he wants to play. He's down to 7?
Yeah.
Huh.
Now remember, he's up a game, so
Right.
he still has the comfort of being able to lose this one and play another. But I don't know. Aspiring Aeronaut might be the line. That way you can like double block the tower guys, but that's really risky.
Joe
See what he does
Demestrio
here.
just hit his 5th land, so Vince is going to have to consider that, you know, there's cards that he did not have open to him before. They're going to start hitting
Sure.
on Joe's side. All right, Embermaw Hellion, though, is what Vince Dagustinino decides to start things off with. And it looks like he may be lining up an attack here.
You know what? Joe is at 10 life.
Yeah,
This represents 7 damage,
right.
and I don't think he minds trading. Well, yeah. If
Anything.
yeah, well, if the brute gets double blocked, the brute gets to eat, you know, both the
Both,
creatures.
yeah.
And that was already true prior to Embermaw.
Right.
But this just makes it so if he doesn't block, he's even taking more. Pretty gross, I would say.
I agree.
You know what Joe could have done with that one blue?
Joe might be agreeing to what?
Fairy Miscreant, if he had it in his deck.
Come on. You and that card.
At this point, it's just to dagger you a little bit. But he could have played a Fairy Miscreant if he had it. I'm just saying.
Duly noted, Kenji.
Good. Yeah, Joe's got to be a little bit worried here. He was the aggressor for that full time, but then he just sputtered out, missed some land drops, and Vince had those impressive turns that let him stabilize.
Yeah, he looks like he's turned the corner pretty hard
Oh,
here,
yeah.
too.
And Vince is going to be super happy with all of this.
Oh, yeah. Just leaving him back with the Embermaw Hellion and the Thopter. But, okay, this is a big turn for Joe, though. He gets a clean draw step. Last turn, he played Towergeist. He hit his 5th land, which took him a little while to do. What is the payoff here for Joe Demestrio?
That's not the payoff you were looking for.
Just the Boggart Brute that was bounced before?
Right.
Jeez, that is a bit disappointing.
He is potentially leaving up another Disperse, but even then, that just buys him a little bit of time. That's a Reclusive Artificer in Vince's hand that he just drew. Oh, wait, that's right. He still has the Void Mage, too. Yeah, that's a huge tempo play. Just bounce the Brute, bash in for 5, I don't even think you're worried if your Joe disperses at that point, because you still set your opponent back so far and developed the board and gotten a little bit of damage. I think I'd definitely just void mage here.
Okay, that's a haste.
All right. So, oh, that's right. Because of the Ember Maw, it's going to deal 2 damage.
Because it's red.
Because it's red, and it has aced.
Oh my goodness. Reclusive Artificer.
Oh yeah, this is just 10 times better than the
So
Void
this
Mage.
is 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9 damage right here to put Joe Deestrio to 1.
That's gross. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 2, right? The Ember Maw doesn't deal next.
It doesn't do
yeah,
it to itself,
no.
right. So 8 damage to 2. Don't know if it's going to matter. This could be the match right here.
Yeah.
Like,
Again.
if Deestrio doesn't have something very impressive to do on his turn.
And there aren't too many things I can think of.
No. Looks like they're thinking about playing around like some active treasons or, you know, whatever. I mean, otherwise you would just be jamming an attack here, right?
Sure, sure. Double active treason, I guess.
Yeah, something.
If you tap out, yeah, double active treason.
They're playing around those little tiny percentages now, which makes a lot of sense. In the meantime, 7 damage. Right at you, Joe D. What do you got, buddy?
Is it disperse or is it 8 or 7 damage? Looks like the 7's going to be gone.
Damage.
All right.
And they are on the verge of picking up this round win here.
It definitely feels like it. In any case, I hope he rips the Chandra's Fury. Come on.
That's what you're hoping for?
Oh yeah, it's always got to be Chandra's Fury.
He also could just attack.
Marshall, please.
Any 2 of his creatures are lethal.
Marshall, please.
Chandra's Fury. So greedy.
All right, Seismic Elemental. That's probably been in his hand for a while, considering he didn't have the double red.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done here.
And actually, he's just dead on board.
Yeah, the blue mana represents nothing in this format, and it doesn't matter anyway.
Yep.
That's going to do it, and that's the match as well. So a tough loss for Kalcano, Friedman, and Deestrio here.
They fall to 5-1. It's still very good.
It is, yeah. I mean, they don't want to pick up a loss quite yet, obviously, but here we are. And it looks like the middle match is just playing it out for fun here, right? That's all we're seeing. They're just, hey, we might as well continue it.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to do it for this round here from Detroit.